And we're going to see more of that, I'm sure, in this fight that Baldoni has against the New York Times as to whether or not the reporter's privilege should apply.
Well, Blake is the bigger of the two stars. She's the big Hollywood actress that people might instantly recognize.
Praising Blake Lively, who at that very moment was being destroyed on social media over reports of a power struggle with her director.
Team Blake was trying to basically ask for like 2.5 years worth of cell phone records, everything, location, all this data, which felt very evasive.
The legal battle between Justin Baldoni and Blake Lively has escalated into one of Hollywood's biggest showdowns of the decade. What began as an industry feud has spiraled into a high-stakes courtroom drama. While Lively and her team have been working tirelessly to control the narrative, Baldoni has just thrown a major wrench in their plans. New evidence has surfaced, and powerful Hollywood insiders are now getting involved, shifting the momentum in Baldoni's favor. With mounting pressure and unexpected developments, Blake's team is struggling to keep up. As Baldoni gains traction, it looks like Blake is officially in full panic mode.
Placating Blake Lively, make her feel good so she'll promote the movie. And on Wayfair's side, they're like, yeah, don't admit to any of this. The demands included there is to be no spontaneous improvising of any scenes involving physical touching, simulated sex, or nudity with respect to the artist. Physical touching and or comments on artist's physical appearance must only be made in connection with the character and scene work, not as to artist personally, and there are to be no discussions with artist or personal experiences with sex or nudity, including as it relates to conduct with spouses or others, according to Lively's amended complaint. The demands also included Sony agreed to send Giannetti to the set and to hiring an A-list veteran producer to aid Lively and represent the studio. Todd Black was later hired.
If Blake Lively thought she could control the press, she was dead wrong. In a major legal ruling, the court just sided with the New York Times in Baldoni's defamation lawsuit, completely shifting the game. This decision suggests that Blake's attempts to suppress information might not hold up in court. For Justin Baldoni, this is a massive victory, proving that media outlets won't back down from reporting the truth. And for Blake, this ruling is a devastating blow that could unravel her entire legal strategy.
And we're going to see more of that, I'm sure, in this fight that Baldoni has against the New York Times as to whether or not the reporter's privilege should apply. And so that's going to be kind of an interesting argument. So then the third ground that the court used to stay discovery is finally the Wayfair parties are unlikely to be unfairly prejudiced by a stay while the court decides the pending motion. So in other words, hey, it's not going to take that long. The court intends to address the motion promptly after it is fully submitted, which means once Baldoni responds to it, that's when it's fully submitted and the court can decide. And if the Wayfair parties want to speed this up, they can accelerate their contemplated further amended complaint or their opposition to the motion to dismiss. In other words, hey, if you want to speed this up, file your response to the motion to dismiss sooner, or get your amended complaint on file sooner. Either way, up to you.
What happened here, and there's a lot of sympathy coming towards Justin Baldoni. Now, let's see the evidence. I mean, that's the key here. Show the evidence, give it to the jury. Again, jury trials are about credibility. Who's most credible here? Who's telling the truth? Who can you count on being honest with you with the exhibits that they put in front of you and explain to you what those exhibits are? And if you're honest with the jury, you can go a long way with that.
Now, what happens if we have evidence of timestamps on these photos with the New York Times? Because we have the metadata, it shows that something happened. But let's just say that the court doesn't allow us to get any more information from the Times because of this reporter privilege, and all we have is the metadata that we can extract from the online photos. Can that still be used come time of trial?
I don't know if the metadata can be used. It is possible.
One of the biggest shocks in this saga is Brandon Sanart's sudden shift. Once seen as a loyal supporter of Blake Lively, he now appears to be distancing himself from her and leaning toward Baldoni. Fans were stunned by the change, especially since Sanart had previously defended Blake. A move like this doesn't happen without reason, sparking speculation. What does he know that made him walk away from Blake's camp? His silence is raising more questions than answers.
Most recently, in December, he linked to the New York Times article that exposed Justin Baldoni and all of the awful things he allegedly did on set of their movie It Ends With Us. But fast forward now to March of 2025, and December seems like a lifetime ago. As I told you yesterday, Brandon here, who also stars on the TV show 1923, was asked about all the plantation princess drama on the red carpet of the Vanity Fair Oscar party, and he did not defend her. He gave a very canned response about keeping the focus on the subject matter of the film. The subject matter of the film, which he did not discuss while promoting it originally. This guy refused to take any pictures with Justin Baldoni. And this is not speculation, it is confirmed. He posted a photo of himself on the red carpet at the Vanity Fair party on his feed, and he captioned it, Vanity Fair X long live the brooch. Or is it brooch? Brooch? The brooch. The brooch. The brooch. The brooch. The brooch. The brooch. Long live the brooch. So, is he wearing this brooch in solidarity with his bro? This brooch has no significance to DV. To my understanding, it is just a piece of jewelry.
This legal battle has escalated into a full-blown Hollywood scandal. With major media outlets like BBC World Service covering the chaos, it's clear the industry is watching closely. The stakes are higher than ever, and Blake Lively's reputation hangs in the balance. As the case gains momentum, the pressure on her continues to mount.
Well, Blake is the bigger of the two stars. She's the big Hollywood actress that people might instantly recognise. Obviously, she rose to fame in Gossip Girl many years ago, but since then she's been in so many different films and TV programmes. And I suppose as well as her sort of curated image that she has as an actress, she's also married to fellow actor Ryan Reynolds. They've got children together. They have this really well-curated brand. She is best friends with Taylor Swift. Anyone that was watching the Eras tour would have seen her and Ryan and their children at the tour and at some of the shows. So she is a really big star that has got powerful allies and a huge online.
And she's always been seen as a bit of a golden girl as well.
Oh, she has.
Aspirational figure.
Yeah.
If Blake and her team thought they could handle this quietly, they were dead wrong. Even Sony executives are publicly calling the lawsuit a total disaster. When major industry players start distancing themselves, it's never a good sign for Blake. This signals a harsh reality. Her career may not be as untouchable as she once believed.
Praising Blake Lively, who at that very moment was being destroyed on social media over reports of a power struggle with her director and co-star Justin Baldoni in the way she promoted the movie. Notably, there was zero mention of Baldoni or his company, Wayfair Studios, which had brought on Sony to market and distribute their adaptation of Colleen Hoover's best-selling novel about a woman caught up in an intertwining tale of new love and domestic abuse. So again, remember when Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds tried to write something for Justin Baldoni to read? I wonder if they wrote the Sony statement. Blake's passion and commitment to advancing the conversation around domestic violence is commendable. We love working with Blake and we want to do 12 more movies with her, said Vinci Cara, who has since retired.
In one of the most bizarre twists in this case, Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds have reportedly hired a former CIA agent for public relations. Yes, you read that right. A CIA agent. This shocking move has raised eyebrows as it seems excessive. For a Hollywood feud, unless they're hiding something big. Instead of easing tensions, it's only fueling speculation and making people question what Blake and Ryan are so desperate to keep under wraps.
I am convinced by Justin's side. So I'm not saying that filing a complaint, if it's an earnest complaint, is a mistake. It doesn't matter what a mess you get yourself into if you're doing the right thing, if it's in furtherance of the truth. But in this instance, I don't know. I just get the sense that Blake didn't think this through and had no idea how far this was going to go. And now look at her. It's a mess. She's got an ex-CIA operative as a PR crisis manager. It's funny. She can hire a PR crisis manager. That's fine. But if Justin does it, it's not to protect himself, but it's to destroy her. The double standards. I can improvise kisses on the set. I can kiss you whenever I want and however many times I want. But when you do it, which we don't even have proof that he did it.
Just when Blake Lively thought she was regaining control, her legal team faced a crushing setback. The court officially denied her subpoenas against Justin Baldoni, preventing her from obtaining the private information she was counting on to strengthen her case. For Baldoni, this ruling marks another major victory, further solidifying his position. But for Blake, it's a devastating blow that dismantles a key legal strategy. Now, with her team scrambling for alternatives, the pressure is mounting, and the stakes have never been higher.
Team Blake was trying to basically ask for like 2.5 years worth of cell phone records, everything, location, all this data, which felt very evasive. Justin's team tried to squash that. Well, the judge has written back this long sort of information back, etc., but basically coming down to say, yes, Baldoni, you're right. We have squashed the subpoena. The reach was too big, and therefore they agreed that the ruling, they squashed the extent to seek the phone records of Wayfair. The ruling is without prejudice. Live parties, several modified subpoena. They basically said, listen, it's ridiculous that you're asking for all this stuff because you're asking for 2.5 years, but you claim the retaliation started in August of this summer. So why on earth would you need all that time? That's the gist I got. Greg, can you elaborate from your legal perspective? Maybe I'm missing something. Blake complaining that they're evading the privacy. They're doing all this. But then meanwhile, right, she's on Saturday Night Live with Ryan making jokes, hitting back. I mean, is it not a little hypocritical? Is this a bad look of her if she's trying to tell the courts that we should stop talking about this in public?
Yeah, well, I think this was the equivalent of a swing and a miss, right? I think they went for a home run, they take a big swing and they completely missed the ball. I think they're going to get sent back to the drawing board. This is not going to be the end of it. You're going to see that there's going to be more. In fact, the judge invites them to do more. But they're going to have to come and do actually some real legitimate discovery, which is what they should have done at the outset, which is tailor it to what they really think they need and start with a subgroup of what they can ask for and get that first and see if that leads to other stuff.
If Blake Lively thought things couldn't get worse, they just did. Leaked text messages allegedly show her making cringeworthy comments about Justin Baldoni, including a bizarre remark about wanting her back cracked by him. These messages completely contradict the image she's been trying to maintain, and fans are not happy with the revelations.
That Blake Lively wanted that Baldoni back crack. When I tell you, Blake Lively wanted to give Justin Baldoni that Gawk 3000. Let me read you some of these text messages that are in the amended lawsuit that Justin Baldoni just filed. But as you guys probably already know, they have a website. They didn't drop the whole thing. They didn't drop all the receipts. Child. So last night, for the first time, I finally watched this movie. Yo, I was looking for all this domestic violence. I was waiting for her to get her ass beat. I mean, I'm looking for some Ike and Tina up in here. I couldn't figure out, I don't know. Like I said before, that sound like a biatch to me. So, or bottom. I don't know. But let's read what these texts say. And again, this is supposed to allegedly from Blake Lively. So talking about the rooftop scene, she wants to take a pass at rewriting it. He's like, yes, like I'm excited, blah, blah, blah. This is what she said. This is what, like, they're going back and forth. I don't want to do all the details. It's going to take too long, but let me get into this. This is what she responds. I can send you my pass at the roof or just read with you when we get together next week. Let me know what you prefer with a wink. Somebody close the door in this house.
It's not just Blake who's panicking. Her lawyers are struggling to keep things together. Experts say their missteps are turning this into one of Hollywood's messiest legal battles. With one bad decision after another, Blake's case is unraveling fast, and it's becoming clear that her legal team is losing control of the situation.
I'm going to keep this all in because, I amuse myself.
Jamie Heath is his producing partner's name, and in her complaint, she alleged that Jamie Heath showed her rhymes with corn, inappropriate NUDE video. And Ryan Reynolds' wife also made it seem like it was a repeat occurrence, meaning happened on multiple occasions. In fact, you might remember that list of demands that she had to come back to film after the writer's strike. One of them included, quote, no more showing nude videos or images of women, including producer's wife, to Blake Lively and or her employees. I'm not a lawyer, but I'm very familiar with the legal system.
Social media is exploding with backlash against Blake Lively's legal tactics, with many claiming she's being exposed in real time. One viral moment featured a streamer doing a 12-hour live stream impersonating Blake, mocking how absurd the situation has become. Fans are flooding comment sections with memes and criticism, making it clear that the internet is no longer on her side. Her public image is unraveling fast, and damage control might not be enough.
Got it. 20 minutes, and that's starting now.
Thanks. What did you just do?
I just took a photo. I do yearbook. It's just parents and kids and just casual stuff.
Delete it.
What?
Delete the photo. I told you not to take any photos of me.
But you look good. You look very elegant and your outfit looks amazing.
Delete it now.
Amazing profile. Are you being serious?
You see this bracelet that you made me? Remember this?
Yeah.
I'm gonna put it in the oven and bake it.
Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds tried to control the narrative, but Justin Baldoni just flipped the script. With major legal wins, former supporters turning against her, and Hollywood executives calling the case a disaster, Blake is quickly running out of options. The pressure is mounting, and the real question now is, how much worse can it get before everything completely falls apart?
Two main elements to the filing, and the first are actually allegations of sexual harassment. What is it that she is alleging?
So she's made claims against Mr. Baldoni and the lead producer on the film of repeated sexual harassment and other disturbing behaviour. Now, in more detail, these allegations relate to things like his discussion of his pornography addiction, his discussion of his genitalia, and entering her trailer uninvited, including when she was undressed or breastfeeding. They have categorically denied that there was any sexual harassment on set.
And then there was this meeting, this reported meeting, in which she made a list of demands, we understand, that she wanted fulfilled before she continued shooting the movie. I mean, what were those demands?
In January, when they were shooting the film, she called a meeting to address this hostile work environment, as she calls it. And that meeting included executives, but it also included her husband, Ryan Reynolds.
With Justin Baldoni gaining more legal momentum, this battle is far from over. But one thing is clear. Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds are officially in full panic mode as their control over the situation crumbles.